Hi everyone, I'm Scottie Bateman and welcome to my front room for the first episode of AAA, Ask Anything Aviation, where you can ask those burning questions that you've always wanted to ask about aviation, and hopefully I'll be able to give you an answer. And if I can't, I'll certainly know someone who can. There is just one rule at AAA. That's Ask Anything Aviation. And I really mean that. You can ask anything about aviation, but let's keep it positive, let's keep it respectful, and please remember that the answers given by our experts are their opinions alone and not the opinions of anyone who they may be employed by or any other entity. That's the boring bit out of the way. Now, on to the first question. Our first question comes from David Leder. David asks, what aircraft did you do your first solo in? Well, David, I did my first solo in a Slingsby Firefly M260 RAF trainer at RAF Barkston Heath in Lincolnshire back in 1998, the 9th of May 1998. Seems like almost a lifetime ago now, but you never forget the first time you put your own name in the logbook as the commander. It's so important for pilots when they do their first solo, and what I've done is I've asked a couple of people to come along and reminisce about their first solos. Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike Ling, and the answer to the question about what aircraft did I first solo on, it was a Cessna 152. It was on the 30th of June 1997. In fact, it was this very aeroplane right here.
First solo, Cessna 152.
Hi there, Paul Godfrey, aka Goddess So the question is, what aircraft type did I first solo on? Well, it's a Cessna 152, got the logbook out, and it was the 14th of July, 1989, 2 weeks after my 17th birthday. That makes me feel old.
David, I hope that answers your question and shows you that no matter where you end up in your career, whether it be like Mark and myself flying commercial airliners, Mike Ling being in the Red Arrows or now the Blades, or Paul Godfrey, who was station commander at Lossiemouth and flew Typhoons, all of us started in a very similar position with that first solo in the single engine piston aircraft. On to the next question. Our next question comes from Mike Gaffney. Mike asks, why does the A380 only have two thrust reverse levers? Well, Mike, I can't answer that one. I'm not an A380 expert. I fly the A350 and that definitely only has two thrust reverse levers, I can tell you that. But I do know an A380 expert, Captain Dave Wallsworth, aka Captain Dave. I've asked Dave if he'll answer that question for you. So over to you, Dave.
Hi. So the question was, how many thrust reverse levers does the A380 have? Answer is we only have two. We've got four engines, but only the inboard engines, that's engines 2 and 3, which you can see in this picture here, have reverse thrust. So just two reverse thrust levers rather than four.
Thanks, Dave. On to the final question for today, which is from Billy Kidd. Billy asks on behalf of his wife, do aeroplanes have keys? Well, Billy, the answer to that is yes, aeroplanes do have keys, but they're used for different things on different types of aeroplane. On smaller aeroplanes, piston aeroplanes in general, the key is used as you would use it on a car for a starter motor. You put it in, you turn it, the engine turns over. But on larger aircraft, as you'll see here in this picture from my good friend Chris Holden, you do get a symbolic golden key when you pick the aircraft up from the factory. And that key doesn't start the aircraft, sadly. It's a key that is used as a master key for a number of lockable doors and cupboards that are on the aircraft. So aircraft do have keys. They use them to start or they use them to open doors, depending on which size of airplane it is. I hope that answers your question, Billy, and I hope your wife's happy with the answer. I've really enjoyed answering your questions on AAA today, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching the answers. If you have, then please press the subscribe link below. Also, please join me in thanking all of today's contributors by following them on their social media channels, the details of which are in the video link. Without you, there can be no AAA. You have to ask questions so that we can answer them. So please keep sending your questions in. And if you have already sent a question in, then never fear, it will be answered in an upcoming episode. The fact that it hasn't been answered as yet probably means I don't know the answer, and I'm trying to find someone who does. Thanks very much for watching, and until the next time, goodbye.